So there's kind of a new feminist buzz phrase going around. One of their new talking points is how MRAs only talk about men's issues to try and distract from women's issues or try and deflect from women's issues, and that MRAs don't actually care about men's issues. They only bring it up when people are talking about women's issues to try and disrupt the conversation on women's issues. I got a bunch of comments in a little coordinated attack on one of my videos making these kind of comments. Let me show you some examples. Do you bring up male issues outside of when people are talking about female issues? Well, yes, actually, all the time. This doesn't happen. You're not misogynistic for talking about male issues. You're misogynistic for using male issues to detract from female issues. Except I don't do that. You don't care about male issues. You're using it as a whataboutism. No, actually, I care. This is the latest feminist talking point, and I'm seeing it crop up quite frequently and kind of in unison. So I know all these people aren't coming up with this on their own. They're reading it elsewhere, and then they're just repeating it without really applying any critical thinking. But what exactly does it mean? The reality is, it's a desperate attempt by feminists because they know they don't actually have any good counter arguments to the men's rights movement, and they know that the points that we're making and the issues are valid, so they don't really have an answer to the issues or the arguments, so instead they've come up with this new one, where they attack MRA's very motive and say, well, even if the points we make are valid and even if men's issues are valid, the whole thing is invalid because MRAs don't actually care about men's issues, even though it affects us every single day. But the whole thing is just a secret plan to try and distract from women's issues, or detract from women's issues, or deflect from women's issues. But think about the implication there. They're saying that if you talk about men's issues, you're a misogynist because you're really just trying to deflect from women's issues. But then, when are you allowed to talk about men's issues? Like, if I can't make a video talking about domestic violence against men without a feminist accusing me of, oh, well, you're just trying to deflect from domestic violence against women, then when am I supposed to be allowed to talk about domestic violence against men? Like, when am I allowed to, according to feminists, talk about men's issues? And this is men minding our own business. We make videos about men's issues, and then feminists come into our spaces and attack us of misogyny, accuse us of misogyny. So when are men allowed to speak about our own issues according to feminism? It's a very cheap, very disingenuous, very insidious tactic that really has absolutely no legs. And it really shows just how desperate the modern day feminist movement is becoming. So newsflash to feminists, the reason why we talk about men's issues is because we care about men's issues.